Konnichiwa minasan, Hirito desu, and welcome back to another video. Now before we get into it, I just want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me and my channel for all this time. Thank you for enjoying my videos, no matter how bad they were or how many times I talked about isekai. And I hope that even now that we're about to enter a new era of controversial topics, I hope you will continue to stick around for more years of controversies to come. So, without further ado, let the very first Sword Art Online video of my channel begin.
Anime that changed my life. Anime that has breathtaking animation. Character. Anime that has good waifus. Anime that has a cool ass main character. Anime that has everything to be called the best anime. Yes, I'm talking about Attack on Titan. Okay, sorry. Let's talk about Sword Art Online. So, when I started watching SAO, it seemed good. Great show. It had totally new concept that no one has ever thought of before. I mean, come on, what else do you need in a good anime? Main character has fucking 50 girls with him, man. SAO was going pretty well. I was hooked up. I love playing online games and the fact that we make guilds, make friends, play together and stuff. It all impressed me. Leveling up and stuff, you know. And then came a girl, a hot one, Asuna. Now, I had an anime I was looking for. Everything was good. And then, SAO became an anime that was not even 1% predictable. I mean, who would have predicted that Kirito and Asuna would fall in love? Who would have thought about them going on a honeymoon? And who in the fucking world would have thought that they would have a child?
Fantastic idea. Wait, but they're kids. How can they? We will get banned. Then how will we make money?
Let's make them adopt a fucking child who was lost in the woods. Yes! I mean, come on. Indian movies had better storyline than this shit. At this stage, I've lost all my hopes for this anime. It wasn't more an anime about game, but you can call it Kirito x Asuna trash. It was just them. There were many things that were simply cliche, like Kirito being overpowered and stuff, but it's okay as he was a beta tester and all. But he was a hacker too. He hacked the fucking game's codes to convert that piece of shit that they found in the woods into an inventory object. Seriously? It's bullshit, man. If he can hack the game, I want everyone who was stuck in the game to come and kick the guy's balls for not bringing back the logout button. Bullshit. Okay. Then I somehow managed to watch the entire show, and then came a twist, a fairy twist. Why? Cause why not? Fairy and magic is trending, you know? And who in the fucking hell gave you right to keep Goddess Asuna in a cage? And why is that dead piece of shit still flying around? Many people say SAO is good. Maybe they're right, cause I've not gone any further than this fairy cancer. I've heard the latest season was praised a lot. I don't know. That's all for me. Of course, don't take this joke seriously. Actually, you can. I'm curious what do all my other friends think.
Hello everyone, Shonen Ouji here. To start, I'd like to thank Hirito for this opportunity to reflect on the show. I have to admit, I've fallen a bit out of touch and I haven't watched since the end of Gun Gale, so obviously my talk is going to be a lot broader than I imagine everyone else is going to be. But looking back, I think why I fell in love with the show initially and why I still look back on it fondly is because it's such a great reflection on the beauty of playing video games. Kirito's story not only represents the charm of video games, but it demonstrates just how meaningful the many virtual experiences can be. The threat of death, the shared adventures, and the strong relationships all show just how impactful video games really are. Whether it's dueling enemy players in World of Warcraft, exploring mine shafts with my buddies, or fighting raid bosses with other players in Destiny, the experiences I've had in video games have felt more real than reality itself. And this is exactly what we see with Kirito. Although he fights it at first as a solo player, Kirito comes to build a number of long-lasting friendships with people he comes to love and respect. With video games, you initially join for the escape of a fictional setting, but as you keep playing, you keep coming back to see all those important friends you've made along the way. And this is why Sword Art Online is so great, because it demonstrates just how real all those friends, all those memories, and all those connections can really be.
Hey guys, what's going on? So, today we're going to be talking about Sword Art Online, which is an isekai anime that you guys have probably all heard about. It actually came out in 2010 and started the wave of isekai anime becoming popular. So, we're just going to discuss that series and the good and the bad. But in this case, I'm going to be discussing the bad and what made it bad. So, you guys probably all know everyone thinks Sword Art Online is bad just because of one thing. And that thing is plot armor, and that Kirito's character didn't really get touched upon the way that we would like him to get touched upon. You know, we didn't really get that character development that we look for, and that's what we look for in a lot of isekai anime, just like Re:Zero and Slime and Konosuba. We want that character development. We want to get to know our character. We just don't want our character to be some overpowered, power-hungry character who just can kill everything and solo floor bosses by himself, which was an amazing fight, by the way. We want to get to know our character and understand why he is as strong as he is. We want to know his mental state, but we didn't really get that with Kirito, and that's why people think he's a really dull character. So I'm just going to discuss that, why he is a dull character and what they could have done to make Sword Art Online better. So one thing which I tell everyone, they could make Sword Art Online better by taking out Alham Online. I don't think that was necessary. I think it does have more character development, but it wasn't that good overall. And then another thing, touch upon Kirito's character and how he got as strong as he did. Just don't say, okay, he's a beta tester and a cheater. We all know that, a beater. Actually go and show how he leveled up the way that he did. Take us from level 1 to level 99. What Sword Art Online did was take us from level 1 to level 20 to level 37 to level 900. We don't want that. We want to see the 1 to 100. We want to see that story. It's like the hero's journey. We just don't want to take bits and pieces of the journey. We want to see the whole thing. We want to see how Kirito reacts with other people. We want to see what made Kirito the way that he is. We want to follow the whole journey. And that's one big problem with Sword Art Online. It was way too rushed. I feel like if Sword Art Online was 100 episodes, maybe even 60 episodes, they could have made it so the series didn't feel too long, but that we actually got to know Kirito. Break it down to seasons. And we didn't even get that in Alfheim Online. We didn't get why Kirito is the way he is. Why is he so strong? We didn't get to see the level progression. We just saw, yeah, Kirito's this broken, overpowered character, and yeah, he's strong. Okay, that's what you guys get. Yeah, we're just gonna go through these bosses and floors and not really give you much. We're gonna show you some fights. We're gonna show you some crazy organizations, and then that's all you guys get. No, we want more. We want the universe to be expanded upon, because Sword Online is a huge, huge universe that should have been touched upon more. I love world building, and I think a lot of us really like world building, and that's only a couple things that could be fixed with Sword Online. Another thing that I think is the romance aspect of it a little bit. If you're gonna do the romance, do it right. I don't think Sword Online did it right. Yeah, Asuna, another boring character. Sword Online was just full of boring characters. It had the potential to be an amazing show, but we didn't get that, and that's why a lot of us are disappointed. But that's all I gotta say for Sword Online. And one thing, I'm not a big trash talker on Sword Online. I actually do like Sword Online. It's one of the first animes I start watching. It has to be in my top 10. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? So let me know, and thanks for having me on. And with that being said, peace.
Hey guys, my name is AkemiChikaa and I'm an anime/gacha game YouTuber. Thank you to Hirito-kun for inviting me to this collab. Super duper excited to be here with everyone else. So, today I would like to share the good points I have for Sword Art Online series. First things first, this was my very first isekai anime. The very first time traveling into another world with the anime characters that I like. Now, first pilot in the show. 10,000 people were trapped in SAO. This grabbed everyone's attention, including me, because most of us viewers had presumably played video games at one point or another in their lives. Further, with VR technology starting to be released to the public, it was an interesting concept that could one day become reality. A game as real life, with power levels, stats, and all that. A virtual reality game was so appealing to me, and it blew my mind. I got into isekai genre thanks to Sword Art Online, and now I watch at least one in every season. Secondly, the main guy character picks a girl early on the series and he goes with it. Then we get to see more of their romance. Kirito's connection with Asuna and Asuna herself is one of the strongest points for the entire franchise. I don't really like harem animes as much, and I enjoy where the guy or the girl knows what they want and they make everyone know that. Please don't kill me. Third, the songs, they convey the tone of the scenes brilliantly. Lisa is easily in my top 3 Japanese singers. First and most loved being Haruka Tomatsu, aka Asuna's voice actress. The openings, the endings are desserts to my ears. I don't have any SOS songs that comes to my mind that I actually don't like. I simply love all of them and have almost all of them on my phone, constantly listening, and some has even became my all-time favorite.
What up, Chad lads? I'm Briggs, and I just want to start off by saying I don't think Sword Art Online is terrible, but I do hate it, and here's why. Back in December of 2013, when Sword Art Online first started airing, it amassed a huge fan base, including myself. It had great animation and an interesting concept that would entice just about every gamer. After the first 3 episodes, I was hooked, and then it just fell apart. And that letdown is one of the primary reasons for my hatred. It had the potential to be great, but just fell flat instead. It introduced an interesting world with 100 floors and rushed through them, time skipping every few episodes. All the side characters received little to no time to develop, so I couldn't care less about them when something big happened. Our protagonist was a god for seemingly no reason. I'm mainly talking about all the girls that fell in love with him instantly, but I would have also appreciated more time spent developing his character and watching him grind solo as to back up why he was a god in regards to combat as well. And the ending of the series was just so bad, and I'm actually only talking about the first season. The rest of the series is a roller coaster with its highs and lows, but overall, it's just an average to mediocre series that still has a huge fan base because of its initial popularity and the fact that it appeals to most weebs. I mean, who doesn't want to be an epic gamer that's loved by all the women? But anyway, I am just rambling at this point. Thank you, Hirito, for having me. Shinpaku.
There are many reasons why Kirito is in fact the greatest black swordsman you will ever witness. Not just because he is so overpowered and can destroy anyone, but also because he's a waifu material from GGO, Gun Gale Online. Nobody has the sexiness Kirito possesses, no one at all. Another fact why Kirito is indeed the greatest black swordsman you will ever witness in anime is because he has a harem of girls. No other swordsman has the charm Kirito possesses. No one at all. Remember that Alicization episode where Alice's master threw a projectile at her and Kirito, in his depressed form, deflected it like a boss? I doubt any master swordsman is capable of doing that except for Kirito-sama. Guts is officially labeled as the fake black swordsman, as Kirito is known as the greatest. People have a saying that the more swords you wield, the stronger you are for sure. Hence why Kirito can easily defeat Guts anytime.
After seeing the highs the series can get, like Aincrad, and through word of mouth about Alicization and War of the Underworld being well-regarded arcs, where do the other arcs stand in my opinion, like Fairy Dance and Excalibur? That's where my gripes start to come in about SAO as a whole. We've seen what highs the show can reach, but when it's just okay or middling, that's when the allure rather dies for me. Plus, from what I've seen of Kirito literally having to be under physical ailment to work on fleshing out another important character, makes for an interesting point, but at the same time shows one of its weakest points, which is its absolute love for its OP main character. I won't disagree that the Aincrad arc didn't have it, because it totally did. Hell, it even started the trend for the series. But Kirito has such a major affinity for being just the absolute strongest, through even human odds for plot's sake. Want an idea? The lengths of grind Kirito went through in the Ordinal Scale movie just to the climax of the film to happen. Now, I've heard of major grinding sessions, but when you level yourself up that consistently in the matter of one night, for an AR game no less, that's when I begin to call author shenanigans.
Since I first started watching anime, I've been hearing quite a lot about SAO. I already had a plan set for what anime I would watch after I was done with Naruto, and SAO was among them. I heard both good and bad stuff about the show. especially bad stuff. So when I started watching it, I couldn't understand why people would hate the show so much. At first, I thought that maybe it has to do with season 2. But even as I was getting to the end of it, I still didn't get it. I enjoyed every part of SAO. At that time, SAO was my very first isekai anime, and to be honest, I was so new to the weeb and otaku culture that I didn't even know what an isekai was. After Naruto, I've seen a few other anime before I got to SAO, and I really love to see such a cool concept of getting transported and trapped in another world. We all know how some isekai can be. Most of them have very similar concepts and characters, especially the part where the guy is super OP. Now, even though Kirito is also a very OP character, it wasn't like he was like that from the very beginning. He started just like everyone else. Just like in every game you play, there will always be someone at the top. But he too started from the bottom just like every other player. Now looking back through all the seasons and movie, I came to love how with each passing season, everything about the anime got even better. New characters, better animation, more amazing soundtracks, and so on. And speaking of soundtracks, SAO has some of the best openings and endings in all anime. I've seen people that even though they hate SAO, they still listen to Crossing Field. Personally, I'm enjoying the way SAO is right now, and it just keeps getting better.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Essays About Everything Art, and I want to talk about a few of the reasons why I'm not a very big fan of Sword Art Online. Really quickly, I've only seen the first season of Sword Art Online. I watched the beginning of Gun Gale online and wasn't a very big fan of it, so I didn't continue. And there's just a few issues that I have with the first season of SAO that make me really dislike the series. And I actually enjoyed the first 3 episodes, but after that I felt like it went really downhill. I think it focused on the uninteresting aspects of the story too much, specifically Kirito's relationship. Like, I just didn't care about his relationship. Everyone likes him, and I know that's a pretty obvious complaint, but it really took me out of the situation that they were in. I really liked the beginning of the show when there was this dynamic of the fact that they're never going to see their family again, and then it just feels like that was almost abandoned so they can just live this romantic life and just kind of be happy and get married. And it took away from the action of the series, which in the beginning was interesting, and then as the fights went on, I found them less interesting. And so the romantic part of the show, I think, really took away from the weight of them being stuck in there. And there was a really cool opportunity for those two to kind of fall in love together more over the fact, or at least ruminate on the fact that they're stuck in this video game, but we just didn't really get much of them talking about that or reflecting on that. And granted, it has been a little while since I've seen the series, but I didn't really like that when I first watched the show. And I didn't really like the abrupt switch when they, they don't make it to the 100th level. They end and they get out of the game rather early, and that was another thing that really annoyed me. There were some parts that I liked about the show, even if I didn't love the romantic parts, and I was really excited to see what kind of level was going to be level 100. I thought it could be really interesting, and instead they just fight in this dumb room, and it was just kind of annoying that it just ended so fast. And then of course the second half of season 1 is just a train wreck, I think, with everything. The villain is not interesting, he's not terrifying, he's just kind of problematic and awkward. The bad parts about all of the girls falling in love with Kirito gets even worse in the second half of season 1. So really, I just feel like it has a cool concept, it had a good start to the show, the production's pretty solid. Any of the really cool character moments or interesting themes that could have been explored kind of just got set aside so Kirito could have a harem, and it was just kind of annoying to me. So I'm open to rewatching the series one day, but as of right now, those are kind of the main reasons why I haven't continued with SAO and why I don't really like the first season.
SAO is one of the first anime I've ever seen, and it's the one that introduced me to the isekai genre. It definitely grabbed my attention in the first few minutes of the show, and despite the hate that it's gotten, I still really enjoyed the show. You know, for like the first couple arcs. But when you look at it, SAO has a few things going for it that a lot of anime don't have. But quick disclaimer, I will only be talking about the Aincrad arc and the Fairy arc and partially the Gungale arc. My points may or may not stand with any of the other arcs after that, since that's all I've really seen. One of the things it has is a great first episode. Now don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great first episodes out there. However, very few made the same impact as episode 1 of SAO. In the episode called The World of Swords, you can instantly realize that it's serious because they called it The World of Swords instead of The World of Swords. Because after a very brief moment of news exposition, you're instantly thrusted into the world of SAO. It does not kid around. It begins to explain the rules of the game as well as introduce the main character, Hirito. Obviously, I mean, it's Hirito. Everyone knows who Hirito is. It explains it all through natural dialogue and character interaction, and all in the first freaking 7 or 8 minutes. And then they drop the biggest bomb to set the stakes and introduce Kayaba Akihiko. Let's try that again. And then they drop the biggest bomb to set the stakes and introduce Kayaba Akihiko. And then they drop the biggest bomb to set the stakes and introduce Kayaba Akihiko, the main antagonist of the first arc. Hooked, line, and sinker. That is what the first episode is supposed to accomplish. The second thing I want to talk about is the world building. If you can establish good world building in just the first friggin' episode, you're doing something right. When I think of shows with fantastic world building, I think of shows like One Piece, Attack on Titan, Man in Abyss, and One Punch Man. And I think that the Aincrad arc of SAO is in the same league as one of these when it comes to world building. Oh gosh, the controversy. I can already see the comments flooding in, so I'm just gonna leave it at that and run.
Well, there you have it, folks. 10 weebs came together to talk about one of the most controversial anime in history. You heard both good and bad stuff about the anime. So for those weeblets who haven't seen the anime yet, now you have a basic idea of what you're getting yourselves into. As for those who dropped it, pick it up or else. In any case, I want to give a huge thanks to all my buds who took part in this collab. They're all amazing people. The links to their channels and Twitter pages are in the description, so please give them a follow and subscribe if you haven't already. With that being said, thank you all for watching. I've been Hirito, and I will see you guys next time. Jane!